Lisa, how are you? I hope you're not too busy. Can I go and borrow it today as we promised?
Hi, Susie. What are you talking about?
You can't have forgotten already. You're not that old. I guess it slipped your mind. You promised me that I could borrow your car for a couple of days. Remember? You shouldn't forget promises like that. It's not very polite, you know.
No, I haven't promised anything like that. I never once said that it was okay. I said that I can't allow you to borrow my car over and over. Don't forget things for your own convenience. I'm not letting you borrow my car, and that's final.
Oh, come on. I need a car. We're planning on leaving tomorrow. I've already paid for the camping site, so we can't delay our trip. We need to borrow your car or we won't be able to go enjoy our holiday. We're going to miss out on camping by the sea just because you wanted to be mean.
There's no point guilt-tripping me. I already told you to get a rent-a-car. It's my car and I need to use it tomorrow. I can't lend it to you.
But rental cars are so expensive. It'll be impossible to find a cheap one at this last minute. Also, tomorrow's a federal holiday. There aren't going to be any vacancies. Everyone's going to have the day off, so it'll be impossible to find a car now.
Why should I care? I already told you that I can't lend you my car weeks ago. You should have booked a car then. And why can't you use your own car?
Why do you have to be so horrible? Oh, it's being repaired. It's not at home at the moment. I don't have my own car, and I can't get a rental car, so you have to lend me yours. Plus, if I borrow your car, I don't have to pay a thing.
What makes you think you can borrow it without paying? I'm not lending it to you. I don't care how expensive rent-a-cars are. That's your own fault for not booking in advance. You'll have to solve this problem yourself. It's got nothing to do with me.
Don't say that. I can't believe you were this much of a bully. I thought you were much kinder than that. Oh, I'm so disappointed.
It's not a matter of being kind. No matter how bad you try and make me feel, I'm not lending you my car. End of story.
Whenever your son wanted to borrow my daughter's toys, I always let him. I think it's only fair that you be just as generous. You're an adult, aren't you?
Borrowing toys and borrowing a car are completely different. You can't honestly think that it's the same thing. Cars involve insurance, and it'll get complicated if you have an accident or happen to damage the car. And a car is worth a lot more than a child's toy. You understand that, don't you?
But my husband is good at driving. He won't have an accident or do anything that could damage the car. So you don't have to worry about insurance. We've got road service, so if we get a flat tire or run out of gas or something, we'll be able to sort it out.
Whether your husband is good at driving or not, you could still get caught up in an accident. I'm talking about if someone is injured. I can't let you borrow my car. That would be too irresponsible. Find a rent-a-car.
Oh, please! It's just for a few days. You can't be that selfish. Why can't you be a bit more understanding?
That's what I want to say. If you think I'm being selfish, then so be it. Anyway, I've got to get back to work. I have a meeting, and I don't have time to be discussing this with you. I'm not going to be able to respond to your messages, so there's no point in messaging me. Susie, pick up the phone! What do you think you're doing? What did you do with my car? There's no point pretending that your phone is off. I know that it was you who took my car. If you don't answer my messages or calls, I'll report this to the police.
What? The police? You're kidding! You're overreacting!
Why were you ignoring my messages? What have you done with my car? I can't believe you'd take it without my permission. What is wrong with you? I told you that I didn't want to lend it to you.
You're so rude! I didn't take it without permission! Your husband was the one that gave me your car keys.
That's because you lied and told him that I promised to lend it to you. Even though I told you several times that I didn't want to, you went against my wishes. My husband was naive to believe you, but that's because neither of us knew up until now that you were this untrustworthy. It looks like he tried to call me, but like I told you, I was in a meeting. You took advantage of that and coerced my husband. Anyway, I want you to return my car. We need it tomorrow. If you return it right now, I won't involve the police.
Please don't call the police. I haven't done anything wrong. Your husband gave us the keys, so that means he gave us permission to borrow it. Why are you being so mean? You should just accept his decision.
It's not his decision to make. The car is mine. It's not his property, so no matter what he said, my word is final. Plus, he only gave you the keys because you convinced him that I had said yes, but had forgotten to mention it to him.
It's not his car? Well, I didn't know that, but he's still the one that gave us the keys. It's such a big car. It must come in really handy for all sorts of occasions. It's perfect for carrying our camping equipment.
Just hurry up and bring it back.
But we've already finished loading it with all of our stuff. It's a plan to take everything out again, so we'll return it after we've come back from our trip. That's good enough, isn't it?
Good enough? Not nearly. There's nothing good about this situation. I need my car so that we can visit my parents for the holidays tomorrow. How am I supposed to get there without a car?
I don't know. Why don't you get a rent-a-car? If you can buy a big car like this, I'm sure you can afford it.
You're joking, right? You're telling me to get a rent-a-car? Why should I be the one getting a rent-a-car when I've got a perfectly good car of my own? A car that you've stolen from me. You should be the one paying for a rent-a-car if yours isn't available. Be an adult and give me back my car.
But it took so much time getting all of our stuff in the car. It'll take ages to get it all off again. It'll just be a waste of time if we do that. And I don't want to do anything that bothersome. If you have a problem with me borrowing your car, you should talk to your husband. I didn't steal the keys. He handed them to me. We only borrowed the car because he said we could. It's not our fault you didn't talk to your husband about not letting us borrow your car. Our kids get along really well, so you don't want to ruin their friendship with something so trivial, do you? If they knew what you were saying, they would be really disappointed. I'm sure your son would be happy to let us borrow the car for a day or two.
Right now, Sam's opinion and my husband's opinion don't matter. That's my car you've taken. I'm going to pick it up, so please unload your things and have it ready for me to take home. I'll have to take a taxi to go to your place, so expect a bill in the mail. I wouldn't have had to do this if you had just given me back my car. But I had no choice.
You can't come here. Even if you do, there's no point. We've already left. Instead of wasting money on a taxi, you should go home.
I know that you're lying and you're still at home. Did you forget that Sally lives opposite you? She called me to tell me that my car was parked on the side of the road. She also told me that parking there is off limits because there's a crosswalk nearby. You were pretty confident that you wouldn't cause an accident, but you're already doing something so irresponsible. How am I supposed to trust you with my car? By the way, Sally thought about calling the police since it's pretty dangerous, but she was kind enough to call me first since she recognized it as my car. I made it clear that I hadn't parked it there and told her that it had been stolen, so you better hurry up and get your things out and return it to me before I really do call the police.
You told her that I stole it? How could you say that? How could you accuse me of something like that?
It's not an accusation, it's the truth. I'm asking you to return it, but you're refusing. That means that you've stolen it. I'm going to collect my car, but if the police find it parked in a no parking zone before I can get there, there's nothing I can do to help you. You'll have committed a crime.
I can't believe you told Sally that I stole your car. I can't believe you have the nerve to victimize yourself like that. I haven't done anything to deserve all of this. I thought you were so kind, but now I know that was all an act. You're horrible. How could you spread rumors about me like that? I thought we were friends.
You say you haven't done anything. You took my car without my permission. And then you parked it in a no parking zone. What were you thinking? If your definition of kind is letting you step all over me, then you're just being selfish.
I'm sorry. I didn't think you would be so bothered by me borrowing your car. But you didn't have to tell Sally that I had stolen it. You went too far, Lisa. I can't believe I ever thought of you as a friend.
I told you over and over again that I didn't want to lend you my car. How many times do I have to tell you no before you understand that it means no? And I haven't spread any rumors. I've only told Sally the truth about what happened. Don't guilt trip me.
Oh, okay. I understand that you didn't want to lend me your car. But please, don't call the police. You're just overreacting. I've already apologized. You should forgive me already.
The situation has gone beyond being settled by a simple apology. Wait, you got a scratch on my car?
What? What are you talking about? We haven't done anything. I told you my husband is a good driver.
I'm on the phone with Sally and she went to take a look at my car for me. She told me that there was a scratch on the side, on my door. What have you done? This is one of the reasons why I didn't want to let you borrow my car.
It's not my fault. Somebody must have scratched it when they passed by. They should have taken more care when they drove by. It's not my responsibility, so I don't have to pay anything, do I?
You're at home, aren't you? I've had enough of discussing this with you. Would you hurry up and return my car? If you won't, I'll have to call the police. I'm not taking no for an answer.
I said I'm sorry. How many times do I have to apologize? We'll be back from our trip tomorrow, so I'll return it then. It's just a scratch, so it's not like it needs urgent repairs.
No, you're returning it now! If you don't come back with my car within an hour, I'm reporting it to the police as a theft. Once I've called the police, I'll have to head to yours in a taxi to collect my car, so I'll be billing you with a taxi fee. Do you understand? I'm being very serious. I want my car back.
Wait a minute, just calm down. You're being really unreasonable. My husband's apologizing too, so please forgive us. Ugh, he said that he got carried away. Please calm down. Don't call the police on us. We didn't mean to do anything.
Carried away. He says he got carried away? Do you really think that that's a good enough excuse for what you've done? You stole and got a scratch on my brand new car after I told you repeatedly that I didn't want to let you borrow it. Your husband knew that I hadn't given you permission, but he still cooperated with you. I can't believe either of you. You really must be perfect for each other if you can be so accepting of your partner's crimes.
May's apologizing too, so would you please forgive us? We'll babysit Sam whenever you want. You must be really busy with work, so dealing with the police will take up a lot of time, don't you think? Let's just forget about this.
Why are you bringing May into this? She's your daughter, but the only ones that are to blame are you and your husband. Why should she be apologizing with you? May has no reason to feel bad for any of this.
I thought that you were still kind enough to forgive us if May apologized with us. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking.
I've already called the police.
What? You're joking.
I'm heading over, so have my car ready for me to take home. I want everything you've loaded into it removed. If it's still got stuff in it when I arrive, I'll take it home anyway and have everything given to charity. I suggest you work very quickly.
You haven't actually called the police, have you? You're just playing with me, right?
Sally was kind enough to stay with the car, so it hasn't been towed, but if she hadn't been standing by the car, you might have been left with a ticket.
Yeah, but it's not that big a deal. I thought it would be okay if we left for just one night. I didn't think there would be any problem. Are you already on your way? It would be a waste to pay for a taxi. I'll have my husband take your car back to you, so you don't have to come. You don't have to call the police either.
I'm already on my way. I can't trust anything you say anymore. And God forbid, I don't want things made worse by your husband having an accident on the way to my place. I'll need to have someone take a look at the scratch on the side, so I'll be taking my car straight into the local repair shop myself.
All right, if you say so. We'll pay a little bit for the repairs. So can you forgive us? Please don't call the police on us. You'll just be making a big deal out of a really small issue. Please. My mother-in-law lives in the neighborhood, and if she hears about this, she'll be furious. She already hates me so much. If she finds out the police were involved, she'll never forgive me.
Susie, that's your own problem, not mine. If you didn't want the police involved, you should have returned my car when I first asked you to, not after the millionth time. Anyway, I'm curious. Why didn't you park my car in your apartment's parking space? It should be open if your car is being repaired, right?
Huh?
You have a parking space reserved for your apartment, which you usually use for your car, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but we can't use it right now.
Because your car is still parked there. It's not being repaired, is it?
No, my car's out for repairs. I just can't use the parking space right now.
You want to use my car because it was big and convenient for carrying camping items, right? Your car wasn't big enough, so you decided to use mine. You lied to me about that too, didn't you?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't know how to explain. I thought you wouldn't let me borrow your car if you knew that mine was still usable. I missed the chance to tell you the truth.
You didn't mean to? You clearly thought that the best way to get me to lend you my car was to deceive me. You can't pretend that you didn't lie on purpose. You say you missed the chance to tell me, but I don't think you ever planned to tell me the truth. And you wonder why I can't trust you with my car?
I'm really sorry. I'll pay for the repairs, so please forgive me.
I've had to pay for a taxi to get to your house, so I want you to pay for that too. I'll be sending you a bill for the repairs and the taxi fare, and I'll be talking with my lawyers. You took my car without my permission, so I can press charges for theft, you know.
Please don't do that. Lisa, there's a police car outside my apartment. Did you really call the police?
Yes, I did. I reported the theft a few minutes ago. I'll be there within a few minutes myself. I suggest you go down to the police and be honest about what you've done. If you don't, you'll just make things worse, and your mother-in-law will find out in the worst possible way. You don't want to make a fuss in front of all your neighbors, do you? How ironic. If you had just accepted that I didn't want to lend you my car and booked a rent-a-car, you might have saved a few more dollars, and you would have been able to avoid such an embarrassing situation. In the end, a police car had come to check up on the situation, not just because Lisa had reported the theft, but because there had been calls from the neighbors about the car being parked in a no-parking zone. Many neighbors had come out to see what was going on and were gossiping about the appearance of a police car and about Susie's grand theft auto. Susie and her husband were given a warning by the police officer, and the scratch turned out to be the doing of one of the neighbors' children, but Susie's husband had to take full responsibility since he was the one that parked the car there. Lisa was able to use that in demanding that they pay the full amount of repairs. Susie and her husband ended up paying a lot more than they would have done if they had just rented a car. Of course, Susie and her family couldn't go on holiday, and her mother-in-law found out about what they had done. She was lectured and lost all her trust. On top of that, none of Susie's friends would hang out with her after they had heard what she had done. She had to pay a lot more than she expected financially and socially. And so it looks like she should have just booked a rent-a-car.